See all your fights and stuff? All your knockouts is spectacular. You know what that means? All this good stuff happening to you, know what that means? That you're favored by God. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Is Mike Tyson still involved in the camp for this fight?
Mike Tyson, he's always involved. He's a friend of Francis. He's a friend of mine. Any input he puts is wanted and appreciated.
In a bold prediction, Mike Tyson has revealed his pick for the upcoming bout between Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou. But before we delve into it, let's see the hot debate around this fight. So, Francis Ngannou believes that his burning determination will ignite his victory against Anthony Joshua in the upcoming match this month. In a recent interview with Queensberry Promotions, the former UFC champion revealed his distinct perspective on the upcoming fight. He said, "We are not going there talking about boxing skills or experience or anything to compare that. We are so far from each other in that sense. But the only thing I count on is my determination, my dedication, my will, my fire." Once more, Francis Ngannou finds himself cast as the dark horse in his upcoming bout against Anthony Joshua. It's worth mentioning that although the odds may shift come fight night, it appears certain that Ngannou will step into the ring as the underdog.
If I land a punch, a knockout will happen. It's hard to say like the one that I landed because I didn't really land on Tyson Fury. You know, I think it was a punch that hit his shoulder and then slide up of his head, so it wasn't a clean shot.
Nevertheless, if there's one individual capable of defying those odds, it's certainly the Predator. Last year, Franklin, acknowledging Ngannou's upcoming second boxing bout, has generously offered him some valuable advice. Francis needs to do these 5 things, he told Action Network. Franklin added, first, he needs to come out fast and bully AJ. Joshua does not like to be bullied. Second, he must use his jab to set up his power. He cannot look for one shot to take him out. Third, Francis needs to stay patient and wait for the opening like he did with Fury. A key factor in the bout will be Ngannou's ability to absorb Joshua's powerful punches. Franklin believes that if Ngannou can withstand Joshua's onslaught, it will significantly increase his chances of winning. This resilience could be the turning point in the fight, shifting momentum in Ngannou's favor. Mentioning the last 2 things, Franklin said, fourth, he will need to take AJ's power, and if he can do that, he has a major chance to win. Fifth, he must focus on working the body and using angles to counter AJ's power. By incorporating these tactics, Franklin believes Ngannou can not only enhance his performance, but also significantly bolster his chances of securing a victory against the formidable Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, he looked good in the Tyson fight. But, you know, a lot of people is not really boxing fans. Hard for some people to understand, like, the judging of some fights, but I think he did great in that fight.
Do you think he can cause AJ problems?
If he stick to how he was fighting against Wilder, how he was fighting against Fury, I think he can cause AJ problems. With AJ though, he had the jab more. They had to get him to jab more. You're a taller guy. You got nice arm length, so you need to use it. I think with Fury, he was trying to bang Fury up a little bit, but I think it'd be nice if he relaxed a little bit and just work off the jab. I think it'd be nice.
Jermaine, I want to get your perspective on this because in the UK specifically, we talk about Anthony Joshua a lot, and we say that after defeats, fighters, you know, change, and Joshua specifically, his mentality has changed. When you suffered defeat, did your mentality change? Can you relate to that if that at all happened?
Yeah, it made me more hungry. It made me more hungry than I am. It made me more competitive.
As the fight approaches, it remains to be seen how Ngannou will adapt his strategy and whether Franklin's advice will play a pivotal role in the outcome of the bout. Eddie Hearn, the promoter, emphasizes that Joshua's approach against Ngannou shouldn't rely solely on brute force. Instead, he must strategically exhaust the MMA-converted pugilist before aiming for a decisive knockout punch. Hearn said, "It's definitely a fight with a lot of jeopardy. You really have to be on your guard for this fight. You've got to be razor sharp. Francis has surprised everybody. He's one stubborn competitor, and it's not going to be easy. You'll have to knock him down and keep banging and banging and banging away." Promoter Hearn believes that despite Ngannou's newcomer status, he presents a significant challenge and is unlikely to succumb to Joshua's formidable punching power, unlike many of Joshua's previous opponents who folded under pressure. Hearn added, "This isn't going to be one hit on the chin. Clearly he's an immovable object with a fantastic chin and big power. You've got to be really smart in this fight. Don't get hit, break him down, and hopefully he'll go over like a big tower and we can just move on. By advocating for a more cerebral and tactical fight, Hearn is preparing Joshua for a bout that will test not only his physical prowess, but also his strategic depth and boxing acumen. This fight, according to Hearn, will not be a typical slugfest, but a chess match requiring patience, precision, and relentless pressure to secure a win against a powerhouse like Ngannou.
Are you trying to make AJ versus Francis? Is this something that can happen in 2024?
I messaged Turkey Al Sheikh after the fight, and I said, I feel like this is the biggest fight in boxing, AJ against Ngannou, right now.
Do you think AJ Ngannou is bigger than Ngannou Fury 2?
I think it's a massive fight, Fury and Ngannou 2. Fury, Usyk, sign. Usyk ain't stepping away at this stage with the money he's getting for that fight, saying, yeah, go on, boys, you carry on and have your fight. So if it's AJ against Ngannou, and of course, in your boxing opinion, Ngannou wins that fight comfortably, he fights the winner of Usyk Fury, no problem. So everybody wins.
Moreover, Eddie Hearn has coined the upcoming match as Knockout Chaos. He said, "This is Godzilla and King Kong. These are two ginormous men, and anything can happen in this fight." Hearn pointed out that a single shot to the chin could end the fight, emphasizing the unpredictability and high stakes involved. Hearn added, "You land one shot on the chin, it's over. Whilst I tell you I'm very confident AJ is going to knock him out, and I am." While he maintained his confidence in AJ securing a knockout victory, Hearn admitted that the promotional material made him reconsider the notion that Ngannou might be one of those opponents who can withstand a hit to the chin without faltering. He said, you will also see a promo that's dropping. It made me just think, maybe this is just one of those guys, you get hit on the chin and nothing really happens." Prior to his impending showdown with Joshua, Eddie Hearn divulged his insights into why the Predator poses a legitimate threat to AJ. "I really believe AJ knocks him out, but it is a dangerous fight. I know that this guy is a big lump that can really punch, and I think he has no fear, which makes him dangerous, but I feel like AJ is in a great place, and I expect him to pick him apart and knock him out." Hearn expressed his belief that AJ's would secure a knockout, acknowledging the inherent danger of the fight due to Ngannou's size, punching power, and fearlessness. However, he conveyed his optimism about AJ's current form, expecting him to dismantle and ultimately knock out his opponent.
Him back, I think coming off the Wilding performance, he's hungrier than ever to succeed. So he's driven to perform on March the 8th, and it's a really big night for him.
I guess at the launch presser, there were a few nerves there just when you saw them size up, because Francis Ngannou is just so big, but seeing him in camp, hitting the pads, training with Ben Davison, I guess that just settles the nerves right back down here.
Yeah, it's the first time AJ's fought anyone bigger than him, in size, in mass. And, you know, that's always, I guess, daunting, probably not for AJ, but two guys that can turn your lights off like that. And that's what people want to see. It's knockout chaos in Riyadh. And like I said, this fight can be over in a nanosecond.
Meanwhile, before Francis Ngannou transitioned into boxing, Joe Joyce had already recognized that the UFC heavyweight champion could pose a significant challenge. Joyce said, because he's an MMA fighter and he's not really been concentrating on boxing, he was a little bit more open and I could kind of see where the shots were coming from. Move out the way and keep him on the jab. But these power shots are whistling past my abs and my chin in the process. Joyce continued to express his admiration for Ngannou, noting, "But we had a really good spar and I've got a lot of respect for Ngannou." Joyce firmly believes that Ngannou possesses the capability to inflict damage on Joshua during their upcoming bout. He anticipates a cautious approach from Joshua, expecting an intense match given their shared power. He said, "Of course, if he lands one of those big shots like he hit Fury with, then I don't think Joshua's going to get up from that. Joshua will probably be cagey in there. I think it's going to be a good fight. As a matchup, they've both got power. I think it's a great fight." Joyce added that Ngannou had boxed really well against Fury and described it as an amazing story. He highlighted how Ngannou reached the heights of UFC and then challenged arguably the best in Tyson Fury, giving him a run for his money. He mentioned that Ngannou is a bit of a wild card. Joyce said, "He boxed really well against Fury. It's an amazing story. Reached the heights of UFC and then challenged arguably the best in Tyson Fury and gave him a run for his money. He's a bit of a wild card." As you can see, the upcoming match has been eagerly awaited, especially after Ngannou's remarkable performance against Tyson Fury in October 2023, demonstrating his ability to compete head-to-head with the top heavyweight boxers globally. We know that Ngannou enlisted the expertise of Iron Mike for his pre-match preparations leading up to his showdown against Fury last October. Mike Tyson himself was present ringside during their electrifying clash in Riyadh.
Whoa! Yeah. And then after you do that, you do the right hand, the last right hand, right? Boom, boom. That's the last punch. Do the right hand, left hook too. That was beautiful. Left hook. Rip it. So you rip it with everything you got. I don't care if you're tired. Everything you got. Oh, working.
However, in preparation for his upcoming bout against Joshua, Ngannou has decided to exclude the boxing legend from his training camp. Ngannou said, "To be honest with this fight, since my training was here, we didn't get Mike Tyson here. He came in like 3 times for Fury. He was more advising. He would come and watch our training. He would be there to give advice." Tyson lent his expertise to Ngannou as he geared up for his first foray into boxing, with Dewey Cooper, the fighter's trainer, shedding light on Tyson's pivotal role in this training camp. Dewey Cooper said, "Well, Mike is family to us. Mike and I have been friends since the 90s. He used to come to my fights and show me support and love, and Francis talked about this over 4 years ago. Before Francis won the heavyweight championship in the UFC, Mike Tyson was his inspiration to want to do this boxing thing." Furthermore, Cooper elaborated on the unique bond between Ngannou and Tyson, stating that their relationship is particularly special. He explained that even when Tyson is not physically present, he and Ngannou stay in communication, ensuring Tyson's motivation and influence persist in some form throughout the training process. Cooper added, "So, Francis and Mike Tyson have a very special relationship. So, even if Mike isn't here, him and Francis talk, his motivation is there one way or another. If Ngannou manages to defeat Joshua, he could follow in Tyson's footsteps by clinching a World Heavyweight Championship title. Securing a triumph against AJ might pave the way for him to clinch an undisputed clash with the victor of the Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk bout." On the other hand, Mike Tyson stands firm in his belief that Francis Ngannou's defeat against Tyson Fury wasn't a case of robbery, despite the heated debates surrounding the split decision verdict. Despite Ngannou delivering a knockdown in the 3rd round, Fury ultimately emerged triumphant, sparking widespread debate over whether Ngannou should have been declared the rightful winner.
One more thing I want to ask you. I know you're in training with Francis Ngannou for his fight.
Yes, I am.
Fury. What can you say about that? How's that going?
I think he's going to do very well.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. What else you qualify? He's come from MMA, different sports, or what?
Well, listen, it's all experience he's fighting. He just has to remember not to use his feet, which he never really did, actually. He's a real power puncher, real fast for a big guy, 260. And I just think he's going to do better than most people believe.
It's no weird going against a guy who has your name, named after you?
This is business and he understands.
Following the bout, fans eagerly converged ringside to inquire about Mike Tyson's assessment of the match's scoring. Tyson said, "No, it wasn't a robbery because everybody knows the outcome." The mythical figure embraced the digital realm, expressing admiration for their champion on various social platforms. "The true champ of the evening," he wrote, referring to the former UFC star. Ngannou voiced his thoughts on social media, suggesting that Fury ought to express gratitude to the 2 judges. He said, "This boxing world is wild, but some judges should be responsible for their actions. This type of stuff is what fucked up people's career." Overall, Ngannou's thunderous knockdown of Fury in the 3rd round and his impactful strikes in the 8th further fueled arguments in his favor. And Mike Tyson said, "I'm proud of Francis Ngannou because he listened to everything I said, and I was telling everybody about the great left hook that he landed on his sparring partner and actually broke his leg. And I knew if he landed that left hook on anybody, they were gone, and I was right. The champ went down." Tyson expressed his contentment and gratitude for being part of Ngannou's journey into boxing. He conveyed his excitement and pride in being associated with Ngannou's success and expressed anticipation for witnessing more of Ngannou's achievements in the future.
Hey, listen, I thought this was ridiculous too until I saw him spar. You know, I watched him box around, he moved, but when I saw him hit this guy's 6'9", 6'8", big, strong. When he hit the guy, I never saw nothing like that before. Spence said he saw it before. I never saw it. He hit the guy in the chin and broke the ankle, the leg. Hey, listen, man. If he could do that, man, it's possible he could be heavyweight champ of the world. It's been a long time since I've seen a knockout. It really wasn't a knockout, it was just a leg break or something.
Now coming back to the upcoming fight, reports suggest that Ben Davison is set to join AJ's corner for an electrifying crossover bout slated for later this month. Having collaborated with boxing's elite, among them Tyson Fury, this esteemed coach sets his sights on aiding Joshua in his career resurgence. During his appearance on the One-on-One podcast, he expressed, "Ngannou embodies the essence of a fighter. While he may be a newcomer to boxing, his extensive experience in various fights speaks volumes. He's even showcased his boxing prowess at the pinnacle of competition. Following Joshua's loss of his world heavyweight title to Oleksandr Usyk in 2021, the coach aims to facilitate his journey back to the top. AJ's previous bout witnessed him effortlessly securing a remarkable victory over Otto Wallin in December. Now, he confronts a formidable challenge against UFC royalty Ngannou, who suffered a contentious defeat to Fury in his inaugural boxing bout just last year. Davison said, "He's a serious threat. We're treating it like a serious threat. We're treating it like this is Ngannou. We need to be on it. Physicality-wise. You couldn't pick two other guys that you think? I hope it's not him. In the playground or the bar." Davison openly acknowledges advising AJ to approach Ngannou with caution. He added, as well as the fact that he's a skilled, trained fighter, now a boxer who has boxed at the highest level. Expressing concern, the boxing aficionado worries that Ngannou's overall combat prowess could once more prove advantageous in the squared circle. However, according to Davison's assessment, Joshua has the potential to secure victory by effectively leveraging his own set of skills and techniques. Davison expressed, "He had MMA fights where he's won the world heavyweight title. He's had to step up boxing at world level. How can you not call him world level? You've got to consider him. We certainly are anyway." As for how AJ can emerge triumphant, Davison added, "It's less adding tools, more understanding. He's already got this massive toolbox. It's more a case of, you know this tool? Did you know it can be used for this as well? I don't like the whole rejuvenated AJ. All we've done is help him understand his own tools and select the right tools for the job." Dan Hardy, a retired UFC fighter, is of the opinion that Francis Ngannou will emerge victorious against Anthony Joshua. In an interview with Sky Sports, Hardy predicts that Ngannou will emerge victorious. He said, "I'm going with Ngannou genuinely. I picked Fury in the last one. I felt Fury was going to be able to catch him in the 5th or 6th round once he started to get tired. But this for me is a much better matchup for Ngannou." Hardy sees this as a more favorable matchup for Ngannou, noting Joshua's vulnerabilities both physically and psychologically. Hardy said, "I feel like AJ's easier to hit, easier to rattle psychologically, and I feel like because of the unknown commodity of Francis Ngannou, there's going to be a shock to the system." Hardy highlighted the unique and significant power Ngannou possesses, suggesting that even a well-guarded Joshua might be taken aback by the force of Ngannou's punches.
I think he's going to open up a bit more in this one, because in that last fight he was concerned about his 10 rounds of conditioning, and now he's not got that question in his mind. And I also feel like he's going to feel like once he's got the upper hand on AJ that he's going to be able to keep pushing him and bullying him, whereas Tyson's very good at kind of rallying him and getting himself back into the fight. I feel like if Ngannou can start to push AJ back and bully him, that might start to cascade into a really dominant performance.
He mentioned that while both fighters need to respect each other's power, the fight could turn drastically if Ngannou manages to land substantial blows, especially if Joshua underestimates him. He continued, "There's an unquantifiable power about Ngannou, and that's concerning because he can punch through a decent guard. I feel like AJ is going to feel punches coming through his guard, and they're going to surprise him a little bit." He advised Joshua to respect Ngannou's improvements in stamina over 10 rounds, anticipating a more active Ngannou in the ring. However, he also acknowledged that increased activity could make Ngannou more susceptible to being hit. Hardy said, "Because Ngannou will let them go and try and really hurt him, but they've both got to respect one another's power. If Ngannou gets tired, he gets overextended, he leaves himself open. AJ's going to pick him apart, and it could look like a very easy night for him. AJ knows how to land and deliver a punch. He's very precise. He's very powerful, as we know." He warned Joshua, saying, "He has to give Ngannou the respect, that he's improved since the last fight, and of course with the confidence that he can do 10 rounds. I expect to see a busier Francis Ngannou. I don't know whether that's necessarily a good thing, because the busier he is, the easier he is to hit. Overall, the clash between Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou is not just a test of physical prowess, but a battle of wits, willpower, and the indomitable spirit that defines champions." So that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos.